Celebrate this season. So I want to welcome you to the first ever Winter Basketball Awards lunch or luncheon. I don't know what it is. It's up. Let's start with a joke. What did March say to all the madness?
What?
What did March say to all the madness? What's with all the bracket? Hey! Thank you. All right, guys. Before I turn it over to Coach, I just want to say a few words, which is it's always a pleasure. This year was really fun watching this group play. Honestly, I know it didn't result in the number of wins that is like, that maybe we wanted, but you guys were
next year.
You guys are such a cohesive. Right, this is also being recorded for parents who also watch it. So if you could just let the person at the podium speak, that'd be great. But you guys are such a cohesive group, honestly. And I know we had a few hiccups, which we won't go into. Like during the season, we had some COVID stuff, we had some other things. But I just want to generally say how much I enjoyed watching you guys play under Coach T, watching Coach T come in and take over this program, seeing how you responded to him. I knew things were going well this season when I got the email after the Redwood Christian game, which was the first game of the season, and the coach at Redwood Christian was like, "Who are you guys?" Like, if he was the first year coach at Redwood Christian, he was saying, "If I could have what you guys have at your school in terms of sportsmanship, in terms of camaraderie, in terms of spirit, like I know I've done a good job." I'm like telling him like, "Hey, this is a brand new coach, first game," and he was like blown away. And that just shows how much good leadership we had with Mo, bringing in, coming in as a senior and kind of showing you guys the way. But also, and it wasn't just Mo; it was the other, leaders on the team, the other captains. And you guys just did a really good job of making the most of your situation, which was young team, inexperienced team that really grew throughout the year. And you guys know this particularly towards the end when you were hanging with some of the best teams in the league, in the conference. So I wanted to just say that to start this off. And I'm really excited to see where this goes next year, right? The youth movement, you guys, I'm just telling you, like other coaches, other people saying, "Hey, JC, you guys are going to be good next year." And that's not to say that you weren't good this year. It was a building year, right? But next year, there's like, and Mo, you said, and the coach is going to have a lot to say about this, about how you are kind of like the building blocks for what's to come. And you'll be able to come back next year as a graduate of this school and celebrate whatever successes this team has. I'd like to give Coach a gift for being a coach this year. I got him a picture mug. So Coach T, Ryan, it's been quite a journey, but I'm just so super excited about the path that you have these guys on. You guys don't know this yet, but we spent a lot of time last week talking about what's going to happen this summer, which is going to be a lot in June. Some tournament time, some skill camp, some practice happening in June, and then hopefully again in August before fall season starts, the week before. So Coach is laying the foundation for what's going to happen next year. Couple quick thank yous, because it's not just me, it's not just Coach that makes the season go. It's also a few other important people, one of which is standing right here. I want to thank for making us look so good on social media, marketing team, and coming out to games, recording, all that stuff. To Rabbi Ruben, Mr. Brody, you guys don't understand what they do behind the scenes, but in terms of athletic funding and support to keep the athletic program, which I know in your mind you wish it was bigger, and we had a gym, all stuff, which is always in discussion, and we're not there yet. But they really put a lot. They put a lot of effort into making sure that we have the best sports program that we can have. So I want to thank both of them, and then to the families who are, any of the families that are watching this later on. Great family support this year. Parents coming out, parents supporting the program. Just making sure that you guys were cool, because you got home late. There was a lot of sacrifice that had to be made. You guys live all over the Bay Area, so thank you to the families for being so flexible, being so supportive. And then finally, I'm going to mention the ice cream sundae bar now. That was courtesy of Mr. Shapiro. Hey! I got my second and final joke. If you've ever wondered why basketball players are such best eaters, it's because, of course, they're always dribbling. So here's what's gonna happen now. I'm about to turn it over to your coach. He's gonna go talk about each one of you individually. Just kind of the cool thing about having a breakout. It's not just the 3-team award winners. Coach has words to share about all of you guys as players. He's gonna announce the 3-team award winners at the end. And again, ice cream sundae bar. Be careful with those cone bowls. They break really easily. We did this Monday. They were breaking. So really careful with cone bowls, you guys. Once your name is called. So for example, let's just use Elon as an example. If Elon is first, I don't think you are, but if you're first, once you are discussed by coach, once you're done being discussed, that's your cue to get up, go to the ice cream bar where you can scoop yourself some ice cream, toppings back there, and enjoy your ice cream.
Woo! Yeah, I feel like
Also, as you as coach is finishing with each player, you are going to all receive something. We have some magical JCHS keychains, which and then of course the awards, the all league awards and the team awards. So please come and accept that award. Brandon, if he's still here, is going to get a picture of that. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to the one and only.
The first time that I've been given a podium to speak from, so I'm gonna be very like high and mighty. The first thing I want to say, just like as a team, coming in, like I've never been a head coach before of a varsity team, so coming in, like I have my ideas on what's gonna happen and what could happen, and what I want to do. And so I came in, and all I asked from you guys was to try to buy in, try something new out, try to do it, and you met all the expectations. Right, I know it wasn't always smooth sailing. Right, I can remember a couple of like shouting matches in practice about stuff. I can remember like, oh, is it the first side where they set the screen, the second, whatever. Right, it was a bumpy road the whole time, but we continued to have a good attitude. We continued to go forward, and as you watch the losses pile up, which yes, the losses piled up, and you are still able to come to practice and try to be the best that you can be, and you're still able to go into the next game and try to be the best that you can be, that's really what this is all about, right? Winning basketball games, doing basketball stuff, that's great. But being able to say, hey, I'm facing adversity, things are not going our way, and I'm still doing the right thing, that's what this is all about, and that's what you guys brought every day, and that's what I love about this past season, what I'm going to love about next season. So, I want to start off with Ethan. Ethan provided a nice spark off the bench for us this season. At the same time, I know Ethan is going to play a bigger and bigger role next year and the year after. He provides strength and athleticism, defensive tenacity that we sorely needed. And we're still working on adjusting all of his soccer athleticism, soccer aggressiveness into the basketball. And so I'm super happy that you're playing Bay City. You just need to play basketball. You can come back next year bigger and better than ever. Super excited about next year.
Time out, Coach Ethan. Now that you've been, please come get your keychain and ice cream.
Shy is the next one that I'm going to talk about. At the beginning of the year, to be perfectly honest, Shy was not as prepared as he over the course of the season, however, he continued to work harder in practice every day. He started to hold himself to a higher standard. He worked himself into physical shape. He was always one of the most skilled players on the team, always one of the best shooters, could see the floor really well. And then by the end of the year, he was our best help defender. He was one of our best boxer outers and rebounders, right? And so that just shows that we had a skill guy at the beginning of the year, maybe wasn't there, physically and mentally in terms of what we needed, and he turned into doing the dirty work. He kept the shooting, kept the passing, kept the ball in, and was able to do the dirty work. And so I really, really applaud that.
It's like pretty loud up there. When you close that door. Yeah. So take someone grab it.
The next guy, Edward. Yeah. I often forgot throughout the season that Edward was a sophomore. He just showed a cool, calm, and collectedness throughout the year, where I just would come at him and say and talk to him and expect that he had kind of the experience and the wherewithal of a senior, a guy who was like 2 or 3 years older than he actually was. And so that just speaks to your character, speaks to your maturity. And I'm super, and you were a really steady presence for us all year. And we didn't have a lot of steady presence, that I knew what to expect every single game. And then against Waldorf, against number 30 in that game, you showed defensive intensity that no one here. And so we had flashes of defensive intensity. In the Waldorf game at the end of the year, you had the nastiest crossover I think I've ever seen. Maybe you guys remember this, right? Hey, but that combination of mature consistency and then those flashes of brilliance that have been really excited for what you're going to bring to us next year. Okay, next guy, Gilad. Unfortunately, Gilad had an international crisis. We'll call it Secret Service, something like that. And we missed him for a lot of the season, and that was super unfortunate. Gilad at the beginning of the year, right when you guys were trying to get to know me, I was trying to get to know you guys, figure out where we're at, what we're trying to do. Gilad bought in immediately. Right, I would say something, he goes, like, cool, I'm doing it. And not only would he listen and acknowledge it, he would then go out on the court and do that thing immediately, right? So Gilad was definitely, and I would lump the Ton in with this too, just like from the get-go. Hey, I'm listening, I'm doing what we're asking, I'm buying in, and I'm not even questioning it, right? And that set the tone for the rest of us to come along and buy into that. And that was super duper key early on. So thanks very much for that. Next guy, Iran. Iran, he and I have had a couple chats throughout the year where he just came up and said like, hey, this is like a foundational, formational, whatever word you want to use, basketball experience, right? You started off the year and you got some skills. You can shoot a little bit, you can dribble, right? Like you got some skills. But out on the court, we didn't really know how to kind of utilize those skills. And I think a big thing, and I want to say this in front of all y'all, not just to call him out, but everyone is like, he thought that positively impacting a game meant scoring the basketball, right? And throughout the course of the year, we were able to understand there are tons of ways that we can positively impact the game. And so that helped him see a more holistic view of what we were trying to do. And then he got some minutes, got some significant minutes. I think it was against Drew where he had like an offensive rebound at the end of the first half and put back that sent us into halftime on a high note. I want to say against Waldorf, the last game, you had a bank shot at the buzzer at the halftime. Again, like just some really key moments, right? You worked yourself into producing on the court for us, and that's awesome. I can't wait to see what you bring like next year. Next guy on here, the name is Jacob. I don't really know who Jacob is. I quickly learned this season that if I was going to call him by his first name, I would look like a fool. Ched, so much fun to coach you this year. At the beginning of the year, I remember seeing you and Mo having conversation after conversation in the middle about where to flash, when to flash, what to look for, what cutters to look for. And at the end of the season, you were having that conversation with other people, right? The Padawan became the master, right? And so, and by the end of the year, I even wrote this down here, some Draymond Green-esque contributions to this team. And that is knowing what needs to happen before it actually needs to happen. Knowing I got to flash here, I got to be there, I got to set the screen here, I got to roll here, I got to get the ball and pass it there. Right, and so over the course of the year, you build that up, and we are going to need that. I mean, you see the words without Draymond, right? That's kind of the same thing that you bring to this team, and I'm super excited for next year. Super excited to build on that, to teach some of the guys coming up from JV maybe, and to just build on what we have going on this season. Next guy, I'm talking about Jonah. Jonah, along with Gilad, wins the award for unluckiest dude on the team. Unluckiest dude on the team. This guy came into the year injured. He had a calf injury. He played through it. He gritted through it. And then he got actually injured. And then he came back from that. And the first game back from that, he got injured again. Thankfully, that third one wasn't nearly as serious. He could still play a little bit towards the end there. But no, I just want to like what Jonah brought to this team. Obviously, he can shoot the rock. But what he really brought to this team was a lot of the same stuff that I was talking about with Gilad and Natam, which is buy-in. Right. And if you're sitting there like, that's a kind of lame thing, is like highlighted. Doing the simple things consistently. That's how you become good at whatever it is you're doing, right? It's not about who can make the spectacular plays or who can do the crazy thing, right? It's about who can do the thing consistently over and over again. Sorry, are we watching when Jen's back there with the Hey, let him get y'all just jealous, bro. Okay. We gotta get this.
Why are you putting it 8 feet above the
Okay, okay, hey, I know I'm the cause of this problem right now. So, the thing I want to highlight about Jonah is just like when he's on the court, he's really in tune with what's going on. He knows how to move without the ball. He knows where he needs to be. He knows what to do and how to do the thing that he needs to do. And it's not all about skill. It's not all about shooting or dribbling or going by people or whatever, but just knowing where you need to be. If you've got 5 guys that know where they need to be and know how to move with each other, then we've got a good team. And that is a key component of that. So thank you very much, John. I've mentioned Natan a couple times, and so now we actually focus on him. Natan is a coach's dream. A lot of people in here were constantly trying to get better. Natan was the only one who, after every single practice and every single game, was saying, "Hey, coach, what can I do better? You just saw me play in practice. You just saw me play in the game. What can I do better?" He was always asking, always crying, always trying to get advice to take that next step. And then I would say, "Hey, we need you to close out harder. Next practice, he's closing out harder. We need you to be in better help position on defense. He was in better help position on defense," right? So again, taking that idea of listening and then applying, and not just listening and applying, but seeking out that feedback. And that is something that any teacher and any coach, both of which I am, love more than anything. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes,
Yellow, that's hard.
Cool. Getting to our team awards now. Our team awards. Sydney, our most improved player. I want to have this from 2 different kind of places. Basketball wise, yeah, definitely, right? Learned about positioning, learned about, hey, like worked on the left hand, moved the ball really well. I remember in that first Drew game, we were down by a lot, and Simi came in the 4th quarter, and we made a run just because we had a guy out there who was just saying, "Get the ball, give it up, get the ball, give it up," right? And we needed more of that throughout the year, right? And it's a really simple thing, but clearly it's tough to do, or else we would all have been doing it, right? And so just the ability to come in and just say like, "Hey, this is what the team needs." So that's on one side of the basketball court. He also improved in his, I would call it, kindness to himself. Simi has a seriousness that not a lot of us have, including myself. He has an intensity, a drive that not a lot of us have, including myself. And that was not really balanced with something else at the beginning of the season. Over the course of the season, Simi learned how to balance that. And that then allowed him to take feedback, to communicate with y'all better, and it made him into a better person, made him into a better player, right? So the improvement came both on the court and off the court. Congratulations, sir. Please come up and get through. Hold up, not yet. So this is the award. I need to date and sign it, which I will after.
Just give it to him, then you can sign it. You get a photo of that. Hold it up.
Yeah.
Show it.
Yeah.
Show it.
There you go.
Hey.
Come on, 3, 2, 1. All right, got it.
Yes, sir.
The second award. Wait. Okay, cool. Another award, which is not a team award, but second team all league. Ben.
Let's go.
Yeah. Here we go.
Wow. 3, 2, 1.
So I had a few guys that could have easily won most improved. Ben is another one of those. Ben is another one of those dudes. And like really, if I could boil it down to one idea, it was just slowing down. Right? When he received criticism from either me or you guys, slowing down in his reaction to it. When we were running up the court, sprint for the first 3 quarters and then slow down at the end to make a good decision. Right? When you're making a move to the hoop, go quick and then jump stop and slow down to finish. Right? So balancing your just like go, 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 athleticism, I'm fast, I'm gonna come at you with, hey, let's slow down a little bit. And finding that balance, much like Sydney found a balance, would really let you improve and get a lot better. And I'm super excited to continue. Next guy up, Adam. Adam was Adam was our best basketball player. He's our MVP, and also another second team all league. I will say without revealing too much of the process, Adam, you missed first team by that much.
Ooh.
Missed first team by that much. Whoa.
Oh, good reflexes, coach.
3, 2, 1.
You're covering up the fine,
Hey!
Adam. Cover up the.
Yeah, no one.
Just tell them they made first team and no.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So I mean, a lot of what I'm gonna say, y'all saw already in my amazing Wolf of the Week video.
Yes, sir.
But like, we had a lot of different guys, not a ton of experience in terms of like organized high school varsity basketball at the beginning of this year. And Adam from day one was the guy that we could lean on to go get us a bucket, to create for others, and to just generally be like, I'm good at basketball. It's chill, guys. Like, you got this. Right. And so we always need something like that on the court. What Adam really improved on this year, though, was incorporating his teammates, both making his teammates better, y'all, and allowing his teammates to make him better. Right. So I'm sure you heard me yelling at him as he tried to drive as the first person with the ball in possession. No, pass it, get it back, help defenses all out of sorts, and now we can attack. And so throughout the year again, and then that was letting them make you better, and then you also started getting in the lane, jump stopping, and making better decisions towards the end of, as we went on the year. And so I'm just looking for more of that next year. You're awesome, dude. So, so the last person, certainly not least, obviously Mo, senior. This one is actually
Just a standing ovation.
So this one I have to read because I care a little bit more about the words. Being a first year coach without an assistant coach for much of the year, Trevor was great. And with missing 2 weeks because of COVID, right? That was really difficult 2 weeks for me and apparently for you guys, as I read all the text messages. I needed some player leadership if anything was ever going to get done this season. As the year went on, more and more guys started stepping up, but Mo was the consistent force that we needed from day one. Most impressive was his consistency. This guy brought it every single day, and while he wasn't immune to mental lapses or mistakes, his intentions were always what we needed, and Mo led both with his words and with his actions. He oftentimes served the role of assistant coach during practices, as I knew that I could send a group with him to the other side of the court and drills would actually get done. And let me tell you, there was a very big difference between if Mo was a part of that group and not a part of that group, because I was also watching. The thing, however, that impressed me the most about Mo is that there was every reason for him to write off this season. We had no home gym. We had a new first-year coach. We had only one senior. We had a very few players with varsity experience. And despite all of that, Mo has the maturity to realize that it's bigger than him. It's about the program. It's about the team. It's about the school. And so he was locked in all year, not just to make the most of his last season, but to show you all how it's done moving forward, right? There's a word legacy. We throw it around sometimes, and it's kind of this like arbitrary word, right? Mo is leaving a legacy, right? If you want to see what legacy means in like tangibly, like this is what it means. If we're gonna have any sort of on-court success next year that I'm expecting us to have, that y'all are expecting us to have, that I know we can have, then we're gonna need to bring that selfless energy that Mo brought this year. We are all gonna need to bring it every day next year, right? And so this is kind of about Mo, and it's kind of about next year. He showed us what that needs to look like, what that attitude, what that locked-in-ness, whatever you want to call it, looks like. We're not going to have him around for that next year, but we got a full season to see what that looks like. And so I definitely, the bar is going to be higher next year. I expect to see that out of everyone. And thanks, Mo, our most inspirational player.
All right. I want to thank Coach. We're actually not done. doing an amazing job. Mo, and you won't be here, your spirit will live on us, because like next year, we're gonna feel you, even if you're not in the building. At this point though, what I'd like to do is actually turn it over to you guys. We did this a couple of years back with Team Lunch and it went really well, and here's what's gonna happen. As soon as the first person up is gonna be Mo, since he's a senior.
Oh, yeah.
So what I'm gonna ask all you guys to do is just come up to the podium if you want. You don't have to, so I'm gonna get hands and numbers in a second, but just to share a favorite memory from the season. So if you can right now go through the archives in your mind, like what moment, it could be a funny moment, it could be a serious moment. What moment really resonated with you, really stood out with you from this basketball year? And Mo, putting you on the spot, I'm gonna ask you come up and start your turn. Oh, hold it.
And I gotta leave in 10 minutes, so let's make it.
All right, let's delay track.
I don't have a favorite memory of this year. I think that something that I'll never forget is just the car rides there and back. And I think that, we did a lot of hard work on the court, and there was a lot of team building and a lot of team breaking. But what made us like join together is really the way we interacted in the halls. I wrote about that for part of my college essay. For real, y'all gonna do great things next year. And yeah, I don't have one favorite memory, just everything, this entire season going through it with you guys. I wouldn't have asked for anyone else.
Time constraint reasons, we're going to take 5 more people. So if you'd like to come up and speak, raise your hand. I'm going to count you out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can I get one more person? 5. And also, it doesn't have to be a favorite memory. It could be a gratitude, a thank you to a player, coach, whatever. It could be whatever you want when you come up. But go ahead. Number 1, come on up.
Honestly, like what Mo said also, I agree with that. I really liked our team experience. I hope that continues next year. And for me, it's kind of like a comparison of 2 memories. I just remember the first like halftime locker room experience. So I felt like it was like Valley Christian or whatever. Not the first one, but like that game. Whatever one that we came, we were like losing by a lot. We were all like super angry and like.
That was like a lot of them.
Whatever. Yeah, whatever. That one in particular though. And we were all like super angry and kind of just bad attitude. We didn't talk. It was just like a lot of yelling. And comparing that to our last game against Waldorf, which like we did pretty well in, I thought, and we tried our hardest. And like came to the halftime, we had a lot of constructive criticism. We were joking. We were like lighthearted, and like we were really just like. And it was because we knew that it wasn't because we were not doing everything that we could. Like we knew that we were doing everything that we could for that game. We really worked our hardest, and I'm proud of you guys.
Number 2. Shy Steinman.
Coming in at 6'7".
Future
Alright.
chiropractor.
I got 2 memories. One was obviously Edward's.
Yeah.
Pretty good shot, man. I think the pass is a little bit better. But you never know. And the second memory was I really loved winning with all the fans for senior night at Kezar, and then the meal afterwards. I thought it was really nice to like send Mo off on a relatively good note. Mo hit like an NBA 3 that game. Shot pretty well, played pretty good. I highlight in that game. He started to shoot a little bit better at the end of the season. But no, actually no. I had by far the best time at Kezar on that senior night, and it was really nice to play in front of the fans, and it was everyone.
Oh,
What is up? So my favorite memory of the season is anytime Chad broke the huddle. Like every night after those, like every time Chad would break huddle, my dreams would let's do this. And so in general, I like the seriousness that Chad brought to the team and Mo brought to the team and all our leadership from our juniors and seniors and juniors and seniors. And that's it. Okay.
Woo, woo, woo.
Okay, so should I touch on many of the favorite memories I think we all had from the season? I gotta say, thank you to you all for all the work you put in, make the season what it was. It couldn't have done it without any one of you, especially like Mo coming up. Like we say this a lot, but like he brought it and then it influenced the rest of us to make this whole season amazing. Thank you, Muller. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Trevor, wherever he is. Thank you, everyone.
We gotta end on that one, because the bell rang. You have your opportunity.
You just say that.
All right, get up here, get up here. Hold on. Last one.
I don't know anything about
Last speaker.
I have two favorite memories. The first one was Goldie getting the ball. It was funny, but like he's gonna do that a lot more in future years. Better skill wise and like height wise. The second memory is the team dinner, man. The pizza.
The pizza.
It was just so good. It was fun. There was nothing bad about that night, and I just want to remember it forever. Shout out Lowe's.
Thank you. If you want seconds on the way out, I really appreciate you. Can't wait for next year. Thank you.
Hey, one more. Hey, so in June we got 1 or 2 weeks. 1 or 2 weeks, not sure yet. In August, hopefully another week. So
You'll get an email. Hey, thank you to Muller for setting up.
Yes.
Thank you guys. Love you.